This is the Cholo News Report for Friday 20 September 2019. According to Afghan officials, a U.S. drone strike kills more than 30 pine nut farm workers in Nangarhar province. The U.S. military say they targeted ISIL terrorists. Atullah Kogiani, a spokesman for the provincial governor, said the aerial attack was meant to target IS militants, who often use farmlands for training and recruitment purposes, but had hit innocent civilians. In a separate incident, at least 20 people died in a suicide truck bomb attack on Thursday, carried out by the Taliban in the southern province of Zabul. The Taliban has warned U.S. President Donald Trump will regret his decision to abruptly call off talks that could have led to a political settlement to end the 18-year-old war. UK-based travel agent Thomas Cook is reported to be attempting to sell assets as it seeks to prevent its collapse. The group employs 20,000 people and, were it to collapse, approximately 150,000 customers currently abroad would require repatriation assistance from the Civil Aviation Authority, in the largest peacetime operation of its kind. A successful outcome from the labyrinth of negotiations remains possible, although they cautioned that without imminent assurances that the additional funding is forthcoming, parts or all of Thomas Cook faced being placed into administration within the next few days. The Civil Aviation Authority are being kept in close touch with the talks about Thomas Cook's future, and are understood to have begun drawing up contingency plans, including the leasing of aircraft required to repatriate customers. In October of that year, Monarch collapsed after being granted a temporary extension to its ATOL license by the CAA, resulting in 110,000 people being flown home by the government at a cost to the taxpayer of tens of millions of pounds. Over the last 3 days, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York adds more than United States $200 billion liquidity to the money market, countering a spike in the repo rate on Tuesday. The operations have calmed the funding market, with repo rates declining to more normal levels, after jumping to 10 on Tuesday, 4 times where it was last week. Still, most investors say more Fed action is needed for a permanent fix, with gauges of dollar funding costs measured through the current swaps market showing pressures building again given disappointment over the steps the central bank took. After policymakers wrapped up a 2-day meeting on Wednesday, Fed Chair Jerome Powell said the central bank will keep doing these repo operations, if that is what it takes to get markets back on track. An F-16 fighter jet of the Belgian Air Components strikes a house before crashing into a field near Plavina, northwest France. Both pilots eject and escape with minor injuries, but one gets his parachute entangled in high-voltage power lines, requiring 2 hours to rescue. The man was eventually retrieved from the power line, after a Taha rescue operation by French emergency services. France and Italy call for a new system to redistribute immigrants to the European Union, amid an ongoing increase in the numbers arriving, complaining of unfair demands being placed upon nations where immigrants make landfall. The European Union hasn't shown enough solidarity with countries handling first arrivals, French President Emmanuel Macron said on Wednesday. The sharp rise in recent days has led to issues at centers on Greek islands that receive and house individuals during the assessment process.